All right, so today we're very blessed to have Mr. Benny Madrid join us. So Benny hasn't been promoted yet, but he is the latest consultant. He's going to be promoted at NatCon. So pre-congratulations, Benny.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Of course, of course. And so I want to kind of kick it off with the first time I met you. I don't know if you remember this, but I met you we were at a conference, and you and I are talking, and you kept referring to, when you were a world champion, and I was kind of like, I normally don't hear those two words come out of people's mouths, and then I'm like, what does Benny mean by that? And then I went and Googled you. Okay, so as we were talking, I had a little timeout. Where's my share button? Went and Googled Benny Madrid, and all these pictures popped up, Benny, and I'm like, who is this guy? This Benny Madrid guy. And then we go back to chatting, and you're like, sure enough, you're a world champion fighter. So I guess before we get into your current state of the union, if you could give us a little bit of your backstory. It's quite fascinating how literally you are a mixed martial artist world champion. So baton over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. So, grew up in South Phoenix. It's a projects. No mom, no dad. No poor me story. Please do not. I had everything I wanted in life. I was a candy boy. I made like $200 a week. Um, in the projects, that's a lot of money. So I grew up alone. Um, Put myself through a good life. I was like that. Biggie Smalls, you had video games and all the nice clothes and all that. That was me, but I hate video games. But my friends all played video games, hanging around with me. But I was a popular kid. And then I went to school. At one point, this guy, his name's Tom Ortiz. You can look him up. One of the best coaches, Pac-12, All American. He's one of the best wrestlers too. I was lifting weights. He asked me if I want to lift weights, if I want to work, join in with him and be a wrestler. And I'm like, what? And he like, I ain't got nothing else to do. So I started wrestling. He told me my life would change if I become a state champion. My freshman year, he said that if I become a state champion, my son can. I had a son when I was 15. I don't know if you guys know my son, Junior. Benny Jr. is in the business too. They told me that my son can be he would have been a firefighter or he said firefighter or a social worker or something. And to me, that was better than anything I came from. So I'm like, and your son will have this opportunity. I never had a father, so I wanted my son to have a good father. So when my coach told me this, and I said, what do I have to do? He goes, you got to be a state champion. You have 4 years to be a state champion. You become a state champion, I'll get you a full ride scholarship to ASU. He's one of the best coaches at ASU. Anybody in the UFC, Bader, my age, and now nobody knows him now, but Bader, Cain Velasquez, CB, me, Aaron, a lot of people that are in the UFC, Henry Cejudo, he's the main coach. And he told me that he was getting a contract at ASU that those 4 years. And he said, I'll get you a scholarship to ASU, but you got to listen to me. And he took me under his wing. 1% on the road becomes a state champion. I did it 4 times just because he told me that. My freshman year was the hardest. After that was easy. Did that for 4 years. I had a full ride ASU. Those that don't know me, I didn't know how to read and write. Into John Wiggins, sat down in the Range Rover in front of my gym and showed me how to read. So I was telling my coach one time, I'm not going to be able to go to college. I don't see myself going to college. I'm going to go and do something. And he's all right. And he let me go. I became a millionaire at age of 21. I had a construction business, sold that, gave it to my brothers kind of. My brothers are still doing it. And then I got into a trucking business. I had started with one truck. I ended up with 22 trucks, semis. Got tired of that. Truck drivers are a headache. So I got out of that. Then I started fighting at 26. 26 years old. My coach was in fighting now. He told me to come and fight. I went to go fight. My coach said I can have a good life again. And he said if I can be a world champion, I won't have to worry about nothing. He talked me into being a fighter. 1% of the world becomes a world champion. I did it twice. He told me. I think I started MMA at 26. I was a world champion at like 30 years old. Started doing that. Now I was 35, something like that. I met John. John kept telling me to come into his business. Me and John don't live that far from each other. He has a bigger house, but we don't live that far from each other. I was his coach. He'll come in and he asked me if I should come and work for him. And I'm like, I live a good life. I thought I lived a good life because I was getting beat up and I did what I wanted, I guess. I traveled. I don't know. I just thought it was really good. Um, he told me he did his homework. 98% of athletes go bankrupt. Why? Because we don't come from nothing, mostly all of us. And we don't know how to invest or do anything. And money comes for like 5 years and then money goes away. Our prime goes away and then we end up at the end of our careers with no money, no nothing. So he told me quit, come and work for him. And he says he promised me I'll be a millionaire in 5 years. Because he told me first 120. That didn't turn me on. But he said, I promise you'll be a millionaire at age of 20 in 5 years. And he didn't lie. I've been in the business. I'm about to be 5 years. I saved my first million last year. Saved. So now I'm here, promoting out some deals, working. That's it. That's the background.
Well, so, I mean, there's a lot to unpack there. You've been in our business, you're saying, for a little under 5 years.
About to be 5 years, yeah.
So I'll jump into that shortly because, from entry level to OC within 5 years, I'm sure it's very appealing to this audience here. Like, you did that relatively quickly. But again, back to the fighting. I just know, I was telling you, because you and I shared, we ran a workshop together at Keys. And just listening to your story, I'm like, for years, our mascot has been the Rhino. Rhino's goal oriented. If a Rhino wants something, it just charges and goes to get it. You are the epitome of a Rhino. I know you're big into a lion. You got a lion right behind you, and I think you've got a tattoo of a lion. And you get on stage, and I believe your guys are roaring when you get on stage, right? So talk about kind of that animal mentality. I'm assuming you got that as a fighter. Like you just have this gear that you get into where like nothing's going to slow you down.
So I don't know where I got it from. A lot of people always ask me that. And I don't know. Like I always, mentors are important. I always had a good mentor. My coach was a good mentor, John, you guys. So I don't listen to people that don't have the life I want at all. But I'm a student to the people that I want to be like, that have the life I want. Now, if you have a good body, I want to know what you do with your body, health, love, and success. I am like really like, if you're a liar, I would know you're lying. People talk really good. Like they go up in meetings and they talk about health and they're all fat. And I'm like, why would you talk about like it is turned off. It turns out I don't care how good you are, if you know the science, but if you're talking about muscles and you're not having, I don't even want to listen to you. If you're talking about being good character and you're over there cheating on your wife, I don't want to listen to you. You want to talk about success and you haven't been nowhere. I do watch people that have a great life. Like Gary Paulson has a great marriage. I listen to everything he says about marriage. I don't envy it. I want to be like that. And I just watch what he does, and I just copy everything he does. I go at least once a month. I try to go twice, but I go once a month to his house, and I just watch what he does with his family, and I copy exactly what he does. He has emotional tree at his house. I have emotional tree at my house now. So when we're fighting, we go to the emotional tree and we talk about our feelings. John Wiggins, everything he talks about the business, I just copy what he does. Everything. Everybody says you're successful because of John. Yeah, you're right. Because I copy everything he does, how he talks to me, even how he crosses his legs, how his tone is, how he gets irritated. You name it. They're like, you're just like John. I'm like, well, I talk to him all the time. My coach, he's really healthy. He has a nice body. So everything he talks about a body, I listen to him. He's 52 years old and he has a six pack. So whatever he says, I do. So I guess mentors. And then I just go. I don't stop. I just go. You're telling me this, and again, society, you do need trophies. A lot of people, I don't know what happened. Like when I was growing up, I wanted to live like the movie stars. Like I wanted to have nice cars, beautiful women. Well, I want women now, but lights, I like all that stuff. I don't know what happened to society. Like it's now it's like you shouldn't do that. I'm like, if you want to be unique, you should do that because you only a few people do that. The people that are all dressed in Vans and Crocs, they're only $2 at Walmart. Red bottoms are $1,200. Not that many people can wear them. So if you want to be unique, I don't know. You tell me what's more unique. And to me, it means you accomplished something. You see somebody in a Ferrari, you don't say he's lazy. You're like, I wonder what he does. So yeah, I guess I'm an ego. A lot of people say you're ego. I guess I'm happy ego. Say whatever you want it. So I don't know. It's weird. I know everybody tells me what motivates you. Like material stuff. That's why I'm working because I want material. Like if I didn't want material, if I want spiritual, I'll go to spiritual. So I'll go to teach spirit. I'll go to church, and I do go to church too. But I'm at work to make money. I think we got out of it. I don't know. Is that I don't know. Like a lot of people tell me, like I like that.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get into that mindset because again, I mean, if you see something, I mean, you just go for it and I mean, again, within 5 years and under 5 years, I mean, I believe the record to OC is 4 years. And that was a long time ago with Brandy. And then here comes Benny Madrid, who joins the business in either 2019 or 2020. And all of a sudden, here you're a qualified consultant. You've got 9 or 10 deals in your organization. You're doing well over $100,000 a week in production. It's a really short period of time. Um, and so again, I'm just trying to put the pieces together. It sounds like you do your due diligence to size somebody up. And once you have sized somebody up, you take what they are giving you and you're just the ultimate student for that mentor. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, and your mindset, like I think like Joe said, everybody asked Joe, my mindset's really strong. Like, but I work on it every day. I got the strongest, like one of the strongest mindset. You can ask a lot of people, John. I got a strong mindset. I remember one day I was fighting, and I should not be fighting at 155. I walk around 200 pounds, and I should drain myself to fight at 155. It's really hard. And I remember one day I was in the floor and there's a when you're cutting weight, the heat rises. So in the bottom, it's cold, and the tile is cold. And I used to get naked and lay down the tile because I was overheating my body. I was in a sauna, and the sweat. I didn't sweat no more, so my body wasn't cooling down. So my body was heated. And I remember I would lay down in the tile to cool my body down, and then I'll fall asleep for like 10 minutes, and then I'll get up and cut another 2 pounds. And I remember I needed 2 more pounds. And my son would tell you this story. I was laying down and I told my son, wake me up in 15 minutes because I need 2 more pounds. And the weigh-ins are at 5. I think this was at 2 o'clock. So I need 2 more pounds. And he goes, okay, Dad. And then I fell asleep. And my mind is so strong that I woke up. I was in a hospital. And they were putting IVs in my blood. And I was mad at my son. I was like, Junior, what'd you do? He said, Dad, I tried to wake you up. And Junior, I was asleep. And the doctor looked at me and goes, no, bro, you were dead. You didn't have a pulse. Like you were dead. We had to bring you back. Like you stopped breathing. Do you understand that? And I'm like, I only had 2 more pounds. But my mind really thought that I can do 2 more pounds. My body gave up. But my mind was so strong that I was like, that's when I know that your mind's stronger than anything, your body, anything. And I remember I told my son came back in, and this is when I moved up to 170 because he told me, you promised me you'll never do that again. I was like, no, I won't. But I'm willing. Like I didn't know I was that depleted of water and depleted that I woke up in the hospital 30, 40 minutes later. like mad at my son because he called the paramedics because I couldn't wake up. So I think you get the right mentors, and I'm willing to do anything to work. I would do anything. Like I don't mind working hard to get what I want. And I've been poor and rich a whole bunch of times. I don't want to be poor. I don't. I didn't like how I felt.
All right, Benny. So then let's talk. I mean, so I think everybody can use you as a reference. Like, hey, if I ever need some of that Rhino mentality, let me give Benny a call here. He's got something that, I mean, I just put you at the top of the ladder in our business that if I had to find somebody who's going to train my kids on a work ethic mentality or just a take charge mentality, you're at the top of my list. So I think everybody can certainly put you there. The question now in business, I mean, speed, velocity, I mean, you must have struggled at somewhere in the business. I mean, rookie ownership. I mean, so where was the struggle? How did you figure it out? And really, how did you build an organization within 5 years to get you to OC?
So I'll tell you two stories. One story, first story, I don't. A lot of people say life is up and downs, like the ocean, or they say you go through ups. I don't believe in that. I've never have. I've never have. I believe life is, and a lot of people probably don't like this, but I believe life has lessons. So I think you're like moving up, and you'll get to you suck you suck at sales. So it's a plateau. Once you learn sales, your life will shoot up. And then you'll hit a plateau because you don't know how to build a team. And then you learn how to build a team. They don't shoot up. Life is all like that. There's a lesson you have to learn. In every scenario in life, I just gotta look for the lesson. I gotta look for what I'm here for. Why am I struggling here? It's my fault. What am I doing wrong? And once I learned that, I shoot up. So I think that like when I struggle, and I don't see myself struggling. Like that's when people say struggle. I never had a tough time in the business. I don't know what tough times are. I look for the lesson I need to learn in that time. I really don't know. Like when people say it's tough, I'm like, this is the easiest thing I've done in my entire life. I've never done nothing more easier than this business. This business is like, man, it's cake to me. So I'm like, this is if I can do this for the rest of my life, I can see myself doing it till I was 80. Anyways, you have to find why you're struggling. When if you're open minded, you'll find it fast, and then you'll shoot up. So that's one. And then this I learned when I was fighting. I learned this when I was wrestling, when I fought. Every time I learned this lesson. Thank God I learned it when I was young. I went to go do jujitsu. So I'm a black belt jujitsu. Those that don't know jujitsu, it takes you 8 years to get your black belt. I think BJ Penn and me were the first Americans that got it in 4 years. This is a long time ago. Not everybody gets it, but 4 years is really fast. And I remember I went the first day. I was a four-time state champion, so I didn't want to wrestle for a long time. So I went in there. They told me you got to learn BJJ, and I'm like, oh man, these are some guys just hugging on each other. I didn't want to do it. I'm a man, so I'm like, don't want to do it. And I'm like, I walk in there kind of mad already. And then they give me this big old key. And wrestling, you wrestle with just no shirt. You just wrestle, right? And I get there, and I'm already mad. I'm like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like looking at everybody, and there's a lot of white belts, and I'm like, I don't want a white belt. And I see everybody respecting the black belt, and I'm like, why is he talking? He's like, oh, he's the guy, he's the man here. And then I see the brown belt. Everybody's looking at the brown belt too, and the purple belt, and the white belts are just there, and I'm like, how can I get a brown belt? And I was already a millionaire, so you guys got to remember this. I was already cocky, so I was like, how can I pay for the black belt? And they're like, you can't pay for the black belt. You got to get it, Benny. And I was like, shit. I was like, can I just pay him on the side? And they're like, no, you got to earn it. And I did karate and taekwondo. No, they give them to. There's 4-year-olds, 10-year-old people that have black belts at taekwondo. So Brazilian jiu-jitsu is more politics, more real. So it's a real. So then I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, I'll do it. And then I started doing it, and I'm like, I hate the white belt. I was like, can I just pee on it so it can be kind of brown? I was just trying to like get to the next level. But then I realized that all the white belts that hang around with me, they're there already, but they were not committed. They're like entry levels in our business. They're not committed. So I didn't want to hang out with them. They're like, I don't know if I like this. I'm like, man, I don't even want to be here. You guys are like making me not want to be. So then I started hanging out with the blue belts. The blue belts, the next belt over. But the blue belts were a little bit more committed. They're like leaders in our business. They wanted to be there. They talked big, but they were not all there. But I didn't hang around with the white belts. So I did everything the blue belts did. So by the time I got promoted to blue belt, I was already a blue belt because I hang around with the blue belt. I did what they did. I did the drills. I was their friends already. I was the only white belt. So I got there pretty fast. And then when I was a blue belt, the purple belts are assistant managers in our business. I wasn't hanging out with the blue belts. The blue belts are just, they were like, some were there, some were not. Some will go straight to the field, some will bullshit. And when I saw the purple belts in jiu-jitsu, they were more committed. They watch YouTube videos that talk about the tournaments. They go to tournaments. They'll have their gis. They're more expensive. They're more committed. They're tied up a different way. They hold it a different way. They were more committed. They were first ones there. They're the last ones to leave. I was like, man, I really want to. I started hanging around with the purple belts. By the time I became a purple belt, I started hanging around with the brown belts. The brown belts are owners in our business. When I was an assistant manager, I hang around with owners. I didn't want to hang out with assistant managers. They don't know nothing. They know everything I know. And then when I was a owner, I hang around with promoting owners. I hang around with the master black belt, John Wiggins. So I always hang around with people that are way better than me so I can learn more. So that was one trick. The second trick of that how I did it halfway. So it takes 8 years, no matter what. And I remember I was like, I can't do this for fucking 8 years. I can't be hugging on people for 8 years. What could I do? So one day I woke up at 5 in the morning. I didn't have nothing to do. And I looked up online. It says jiu-jitsu class at 6 o'clock a.m. So I'll go at 6 o'clock a.m. and then I'll go do my work. And then I'll go to 6 o'clock afternoon class. So I went to 2 classes. I did 2 a day. I got better than everybody. And I got my black belt in 4 years. Not because I was better. I just outworked everybody. There was nobody that can outwork me. In the business, I really don't think nobody can outwork me. Everybody gets mad. I love you guys. Don't get mad. I don't think nobody outworks me. I wake up at 5 in the morning. At 5:30, I'm in the gym. I have at least 2 of my guys waiting for me at the gym. I'm not gonna do nothing with myself. I got time. So I go with my guys and I give these are my top guys, like my assistant managers or people that are gonna leave. And I just tell them how I think. Just tell them what I'm thinking about. And then I'm with them for an hour, hour and a half, and then I go home. I read books, I meditate, I stretch, and then I come to work, and then my top guys are here. And sometimes I don't go to sleep. I go to the field. I still go to the field at least 3 times, 4 times a week. And then I don't go a lot. I just go for an hour or two, pop on the guys, show them that I'm there. And then and then I get home and sometimes I have dinner with my guys. Sometimes I take a top guy. I don't know. I do a lot. And I don't get home and I don't finish work until 11 o'clock. So from 5:30 to 11 o'clock, I work everybody. That's so many hours. Put in the time. So in a year, I'm just out working everybody. I don't have a day off. You call John Wiggins. He had to call me on Wednesday. I was with him. That's my day off. I'm with him all day on Wednesday. I'm just like, how do you say it? His sidekick on Wednesday. He takes me everywhere. I don't have no days off. Now, is that bad? I don't know. Like, I think it's cool hanging around with John. So I don't have a day off, and I work all those days. John's with me on. As soon as I left him yesterday, he left on Wednesday. I was with them with Adam McNally. He was here. John had breakfast with my guys at 12. I dropped off Adam McNally in the airport, and then I went to a pool party with my guys that I rented a cabana, and we went and drank some and had some fun on our day off. But I was with my guys. We were out drinking, just having fun. So I didn't go to sleep until 11. That was my day off.
So you've got this Elon Musk type of work ethic. I mean, I've heard him talk about, listen, I worked 100 hours a week. If other people were working 50 hours a week, I was getting ahead at, twice the speed. It sounds like that's what you're saying. And obviously every week you're a fly on the wall in John Wigan's world. Once or twice a month, you're a fly on the wall in Gary Polson's world. So, unbelievable student mentality, unbelievable work ethic. I mean, anything outside of those two, I mean, those are two areas you're obviously excelling in. I mean, your guys will run through walls for you, so there must be something in the type of relationship you're building with your people.
Yeah, I do. I want them to have a good life. Like, I want them to have a great life. It sucks when you're alone. Like, I remember when I got to ownership and I went to Keys by myself. It sucked. Now we have a whole crowd go. It sucks when you go by yourself to eat dinners. Like, now these guys have money, restaurants. They fly in my city. We go to the nicest restaurants, nicest resorts. We travel all together. It's so cooler to have these young, and you see them just enjoying their life and having these experiences that they would never have. And I just like giving that to other people. I like them to have everything they want, they dream of. Like, if you work hard enough, long enough, you can get whatever you want. I tell them, and I just show them the example. I don't. And it feels so good to promote people out. It feels so good to see them get their first wire, and they're like, or see their bank account 3, 4 months later, they have 50K, and they're like, Benny, that 50, that's your money, not mine. That's yours. You know how good that feels? They don't even know yet. They don't even hit them in the head. They're like, what? They're like, that is yours, not mine. That's yours. So I can take, you can leave right now the business, you can take your money. It's incredible to see them. It's
Yeah.
incredible for them to see come to home to the homes because everybody's from Arizona. They come here and they see their family, and the family thanks me. They thank me every time. That's a great feeling to see them because when you have it all, it kind of sucks. It's you. It doesn't feel good. That don't feel good because I remember when I was a fighter. Um, if you history back, like my ex is a great fighter. She's top 10 right now. Um, but I had to give it to somebody. My friends, Henry Cejudo, he was a wrestler with me. We come from the same gym, and I'm the one that got him into wrestling. My son, anybody I was around, I was always trying to make. I had to give something back. John Wiggins, I wanted to give them. I wanted to give people back because it felt lonely, just you by yourself. It feels lonely, but when you give it to everybody, it's so cool.
Hmm.
It just feels so good.
You've
Like, I bet you and John feel amazing. Like, you guys should. Like, you guys should. I don't know. You guys are special. John, I owe him a lot. Like, I tell him, this is what you do every Wednesday. This is what you did.
Yeah, I think you do get to a point where it's not about you anymore. It's about your people succeeding. Like there is a legacy play that has to happen because if
Yeah,
you become successful, but nobody else on your team is succeeding, I mean that's kind of a miserable experience. I mean, that's a recipe for miserable. But when you've got a bunch of people on your team that are thriving, I mean, there's nothing like that for
it's
sure.
so cool. Yeah, you don't know how cool it is.
That's great. That's great, Benny. I mean, you really are a champion. I mean, you were a champion before you came into our business, and you just have this, I don't know, I feel like I'm talking to Rocky Balboa or something like that. Like you just have this insatiable appetite to succeed. I just love being around you because it's just apparent. I mean, you're just willing to run through a concrete wall for success. I mean, that's just refreshing to see that. I mean, it's kind of a little bit of an old school thing. I mean, we saw that back in the day when I was a young rookie, but nice to see somebody coming into the business in what, 2019? That's when you started, 2019,
Late night, 2019, late. Yeah,
right? Right
I
before.
hit COVID. I think when I came in COVID, I was in the COVID areas.
Yeah.
So it's weird why like to me it's like I don't know. They like say ego. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but in life, like I like what people can achieve. Like when I used to win tournaments in wrestling, I like the medal. Now I don't even know where all my medals are at, but I like getting the medal because nobody can have that medal. Does that make sense? Like to me, it was beautiful getting those medals. I'm like, to me, I felt special. It felt unique. And when I got my title, I'm like, dude, like nobody can do this. Nobody will put their life at risk. Like I just got a Ferrari. I'm like, everybody's like, why would you do that? I was like, because nobody can get it. I like it because nobody can get it. If everybody can get a Ferrari, then it won't be special to me. My wife got a G. Like I love it. I like they're my trophies. They don't mean nothing to a lot of people, but to me, they're like, yeah, fuck, I did something right. I don't know why I did. I always like trophy. If I don't have a trophy, it's like if I don't have a purpose. Like a lot of people say, money doesn't motivate me. I'm like, dude, like material stuff. The toilet paper costs money. Toilet paper is material. So it doesn't make you happy, but it does give you fuel to have a great life, man. I don't know, like, and it's weird because now in society, I don't know why. I don't know the hippie area's on, or I don't know what's going on, but it's really weird. Like I don't know, like the red carpet, the beautiful girls. I don't know. To me, that was the limos. I don't know why nobody likes that no more. I'm like, what? That's why I worked hard. I wanted to do that. I don't know. It's just weird. The movie star life. Who wouldn't want it? I don't know. I just like. I guess it's weird times. I guess it's eating carrots and smoking weed and playing video games is better than all that. I'm weird. I don't know.
That's that's funny. Well, listen, you're a magnetic recruiter, so obviously many people are buying into your mindset as you're, catching great studs, joining the business. So there is certainly something to how you think and how you're looking at life that is obviously attracting people, Benny. So I don't think it's so odd.
Yeah, it might be wrong. I sometimes I sit back and like, dude, am I saying? But I'm like, I don't know. Like I remember I told some guy goes, "What's now that you have a lot?" Because I have a couple million saved because of fighting. They're like, what do you want? And I'm like, I don't know. I just start thinking. I'm like, I want to like when you get old, you want to leave a legacy. They're like, what do you mean? I say, well, I don't know if you remember. I remember when I went to the barber shop. And what's the lady that died? The Queen, wasn't it Queen Elizabeth? Was
Mhm.
it? And I remember I walked into the barber shop and the barber shop stopped cutting hair. And they're like have to cut hair. And everybody was watching the TV. And I walked in and I'm like, what is everybody watching? And I remember the world stopped for a little bit. And I'm like, fuck, that's kind of cool. I remember I sat there and I'm like, this lady made a big impact that the world stopped. I remember Kobe did that, Michael Jackson, OJ Simpson when they were chasing him. I'm like, but the world stopped. Selena, I want to do an impact like that. I want it. So I have to start now. I have to every time I talk to somebody, I got to impact them. But I want the world to stop like that. I wanted, damn, Benny was a great guy. I want to be up with God, and I'm looking down. I'm like, damn, I did that. Fuck God, I did some good shit. Like I stopped the world. And in a lot, somebody, my brother told me, he goes, "You're what do you call it? How do you say that bad thing? What do you call it?" He said that ego, not an ego. What do you call it? Narcissism. I don't know what he said, but it was really bad. And I was like, "Shit, am I?" I go, "Fuck, I guess I am." I was like, "Man, I guess I am. Call me whatever you want. I want to be up with God, looking down, and I made the world stop. It might be bad. It might be really bad, I guess." But I would want to look down and say, man, look at everybody, all the impact I did. It's pretty cool. I think it's bad, but
Well, I wouldn't call a guy as generous as you, Benny. I mean, you have a heart for your people, and that's why they're willing to run through walls for you. That is not a characteristic of a narcissist. I mean, that's a generous guy. That's a servant leader, in my opinion. Now, the Ferrari, I don't know about that, but listen, you worked hard. You want to buy yourself something nice. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
yeah, yeah,
So when you get a moment after this call, send me a picture of you and your Ferrari, and I'll forward it to everybody on this call so everybody can take a good look at it.
yes, sir.
But Benny, we appreciate your time. We look forward to your celebration in August, obviously. And are we in Dallas? Is that where we're going? Dallas or Houston for your big party? So that'll be fun, Benny.
You're the best, my man. Thank you. Thank you guys for inviting me.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, guys.
The
Thank
best.
you, Benny.